Greetings fellow humans, it's Melinda the Good here. Welcome to part 2 of the move. When I first recorded the video, it ended up being way too long, so I had to split it up into 2 parts. I will link the first video in the description below. So just a quick recap on what happened. I set off on my journey to look for a new place, and I got rejected a bunch. There were a ton of terrible places out there, and I almost gave up hope. But just when the night seemed the darkest, we found the place. It was the most sketchy ad I saw on Craigslist ever. No pictures, a few sentences for description, 2 weeks old already. I did not have high hopes for the place even being available. I texted their number anyways because I was desperate, and what could I lose? So I was very surprised that I actually got a response from them. Equally short and concise as the listing, just the time and address, and to bring my pay stub. I let a bunch of people know when and where I was going in case my organs were going to be harvested. I arrived there and I'm greeted by this old Russian guy with a heavy accent. He was the manager of the building, not very talkative, but friendly enough. He brings me up to the place, and the moment the doors open, I was speechless. The place was bathed in the afternoon glow, and because it was west facing, it was also hot as hell, but it was spacious and clean, and on the top floor of a 3rd-story apartment. You could tell the place was really old, but it was very well maintained. The location was perfect for my work, food, shopping, busing, everything. Compared to all the other places I've been, this was Beverly Hills. We go down to his office and go through the usual background questions of my job, pets, children, etc. He finally sits back and looks me dead in the eye and says in a thick Russian accent, "What would you say if I offered you this place right now?" What? Is this a trick question? What's wrong with this place? Are there rats? Did I miss some horrible glaring red flag somewhere? It's haunted, isn't it? So haunted that the walls cry blood at night, and we don't even know what happened to the last tenant type haunted, right? Right? I was completely in shock, and after my brain freefalled for a few seconds, I answered, I would say yes? Because why would I say no after 1.5 months of searching? I was speechless. And just like that, my search was over. I didn't sign right away because I was so sure something was up. He gave me the lease to look over and told me to text him if I wanted to drop it off. No applications needed. I went home to make sure none of my organs were teleported out of me and that this was legit. After some consultation, my conclusion was that he was probably old and didn't want to go through the hassle of vetting all these potential applicants, and just went with the first person who didn't seem like a stabby meth user. I got really lucky because he had actually forgotten to take down the ad and wasn't looking at the time because there was some construction going on in the building. He wanted to wait until it was over before showing the potential renters. It also probably helped that a lot of people were probably scared off by the bare no pictures 3-sentence ad. There's one caveat. It was that Vladimir would be my next door neighbor. No big deal, it just means that I had to be more quiet at night, which isn't a problem for my hermit lifestyle. So I signed the contract and started the move-in process. I picked the absolute perfect time because I had relatives visiting us during that week. My mom was taking a course and had an exam. My brother was going through some sort of job crisis. Just perfect. I didn't really have much help packing from my family because they were so busy, but also meant that they couldn't really stop me. I didn't hear too many complaints or trying to change my mind. On the move-in day, everyone pitched in to help despite everything that was going on. I am so thankful to my friends who came to help with their cars to move my stuff over. I managed to convince my Norse mythology giant friends to join in, and his 2 brothers and their giant friend, and like an army of ants, we lugged all my boxes up to the top floor. It was exhausting packing, but somehow it was worse unpacking. I only had the bare essentials and was missing a ton of furniture, like a dining room table. IKEA was a godsend. I got most of my stuff there as well as Craigslist, but I think I'll save those adventures for another video. I'm still not exactly sure why IKEA wants me to decorate my home with plastic plants and cages, but by the end of it, I can converse in Swedish, and I've learned that I should not be allowed near hammers and that mattress companies are evil. Glory to the mighty IKEA and their affordable mattresses and beds pricings. They do this amazing thing where they vacuum seal and roll out the mattress into a carryable state for you to take home, no moving van needed. Then you unroll the mattress and just let it self-inflate with time. It is the single most mind-blowing scientific miracle I have ever witnessed. I know a lot of the stuff I have are temporary and there's plenty of room to upgrade later, but for now, I'm pretty happy with my setup. So there I was, finally moved in and all alone. I will admit there were a few incidences in the first couple of days where I was all, what was that noise? Is this how I die? But it took me a while to get used to it, and it took me a bit to get my routine going again. In the video where I announced I was going to move, one of my biggest fears was how I was going to survive, how I was going to fend off starvation. As you all know, I am not the greatest cook. Some people really enjoy it and they cook for pleasure, but that's not me, and if you're like that, you are a mystery to me. Early on, I messed up boiled eggs really, really bad. Like, exploded in the water bat, and I had no idea how that happened. I still had to eat it, but it was really embarrassing, even for my level of cooking. It's pretty hard to mess up boiled eggs. But I got better with time since my survival depended on it, and I feel like I'm actually learning a few things. I'm trying out new recipes I found online so that I get variety of my food, and now I'm excited to cook food that I crave and want to eat. So the manager does not know about the fire stuff, okay? And for future legal purposes, there is no fire stuff. Another big worry that I had was having the energy to take care of myself in the place. And I will admit, taking care of a place by yourself is hard, but there's also upsides to it. I get to do a lot more of my eccentric hobbies without any judgment. Clothing has become optional, and I'm having a lot of fun arranging my place and decorating it how I want it to look. So this is the layout of my place. I got a really cute wooden round dining table. I don't know why, I just really like round tables. The place is actually pretty spacious, but it looks cramped because of my jungle of plants that is growing wildly out of control. Every time someone visits my place, one of the first things they say is, "Wow, you have a lot of plants." Yes, I moved in with a ton of plant babies. I also got a cute little balcony, which is also a second home to my outdoor plants, and some other small stuff that I decided not to add in because they weren't that important. And lastly, one of my biggest fears was if I could keep going with the YouTube channel. I was really scared that the cooking and the cleaning and the taking care of the place would mean that it would be the end of my channel. But as you can tell, that's definitely not the case. If anything, I feel so much more energized to create and draw and try new ideas. I already have a few new side projects going on that I'm really excited to share with all of you when they're ready. I also want to change up the channel a bit, change up my process. I have so much energy to try and experiment and improve. So some of you might be wondering, how do my parents feel now that I've moved out? They definitely weren't on board in the beginning, but surprisingly, they're more okay now. I think it's a combination of my stubbornness and them bumping into someone at work who was a 40-year-old adult with no life skills whatsoever, and they realized I dodged a huge bullet by wanting independence. So somewhere along the way, they've come to terms with it, and that it was the best for everyone involved. And it's true, our relationship has greatly improved with a bit of distance. So I did it. I wanted to let you all know that I succeeded, and to thank you all for your support. To me, it was a rough process, but you guys were there every step of the way. I can't begin to express how grateful I am to everyone who messaged me or cheered me on. And I want to pass that energy forward and let anyone else who feels stuck in one place or trapped that there is hope. Shake things up. Don't be afraid to try. Embrace the change. It's a rough climb up to where you need to go, and you might stumble or fall back a bit. And once you're up there, taking that first leap of faith is the scariest part. But once you land, it will be on your feet and you can take off running. I am so much happier all the time now. Is this what personal growth feels like? I feel so free and I have so much energy to do all the things I've always wanted to do. and I can't wait to share them all with you.